1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
The Sir Shop, Statesboro's finest men's fashions.
And welcome to the Georgia Southern postgame wrap-up show. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by sports editor and Georgia Southern beat writer for the Statesboro Herald, Mike Anthony, where the Georgia Southern Eagles definitely were not coming down from a hangover from the loss last week at Georgia as they roll right past South Alabama by a final count of 55-17. Surprised at all by the score, Mike? I think we both thought it might be a little bit closer than this.
Yeah, I think that I thought that South Alabama would put up a little bit more of a fight. Georgia Southern over the last couple of weeks, not as explosive as we're used to seeing from that offense throughout the year. A lot of that probably had to do with a very good Troy defense, a very, very good Georgia defense. But the offense had showed up once again. Matt Breida, another long touchdown run, a 75-yarder. Kevin Ellison almost getting in from over 50 yards out. L.A. Ramsey doing his best Matt Breida impression. Usually he's diving into the line. Today he broke through, outran some people in the open field for a 46-yard touchdown. So the big plays were back. It was as impressive as ever. And when Georgia Southern's ripping off those big plays, you're going to get those lopsided scores.
And once again, the defense kind of left out in the cold sometimes when you score 55 points, but the Eagle defense once again comes up with a couple of turnovers, and they only allowed 10 points. One of the touchdowns by South Alabama was a scoop and score for a touchdown.
This defense, a dominant performance today, as we've seen the last few weeks. A little bit shaky on the first drive. South Alabama able to take the opening kick, march it down the field for 75 yards, capped in a touchdown. But that was just about it for the Jaguar offense on the day. 75 yards on the first drive. I don't believe they got 75 more offensive yards the entire rest of the game. You mentioned the fumble recovery for one of South Alabama's touchdowns. Their field goal came off of a block punt where the defense is backed up to its own 8-yard line but stood its ground, forced to kick at a critical point early in the second half, allowed the offense to get back on the field and ultimately pull away.
After last week's Georgia game, you had Roscoe Bird out this week. Looked like Kevin Ellison was banged up. Looked like Fabian Upshaw was banged up a little bit. Then they come out and right at 500 yards of total offense once again.
Over 500 yards of total offense, almost 500 yards on the ground alone, 489 yards. That'll get that yards per game average back up there. Not that it was ever down there. Georgia Southern still leading the nation in that category. But these guys, they get their bumps and bruises. No one's totally healthy at this time of year, but it definitely seems like the added depth, it seems like this team has a little bit more gas in the tank than at the same time last season.
All right, well, let's get out and see some of the highlights from the Eagles' victory. Georgia Southern getting back to conference action Saturday at Paulson Stadium, trying to rebound from last week's disappointing loss to Georgia as they host South Alabama, who is looking for a win to become bowl eligible. And for the third straight week, the Eagle defense allowing their opponent to score on their opening drive. The Jags capping things off with the Tyrese Thomas touchdown, 7-0, but the defense clamps down from there. Jay Ellison applying the pressure. Then moments later, the pass complete, but the Eagles swarm on the stop. The offense finally gets going. The give on the far side to Matt Breida, who will cut back across the field, finally getting knocked down around the 15-yard line. That would lead to Kevin Ellison keeping it himself. He's ruled in for the touchdown, and we're tied at 7-all. More from the Eagle defense as quarterback Cody Clements finds no one open. Matt Dobson there for the sack. We go to the second. Still 7-all. The Eagles going for it on 4th and short. And the ball will be stripped loose from L.A. Ramsey, and the Jags' Devon Earl scoops and goes 62 yards for the touchdown as South Alabama takes a 14-7 lead. But the Eagle offense right back first. The pitch to Monte Crockett, who makes a nice run here for a first down. Next, it's Kevin Ellison faking the handoff and taking off. Looks like he's going to go 57 yards for the touchdown. He hits the pylon, but he's ruled down at the 1. No problem. Matt Breida gets the call, and he's in for the touchdown, and the Eagles tied up at 14 all. Back on offense moments later, and Kevin Ellison drops back, and he finds Derek Keaton, who makes a nice leaping grab in the end zone. The 23-yard score gives the Eagles their first lead at 21-14. But Georgia Southern not done yet. This time the defense sets the table as Darius White comes up with the interception, and he makes a good return inside the 10-yard line. A few plays later, Ellison leaps, gets hit, but breaks the plane for the touchdown, and Georgia Southern quickly grabs a 28-14 halftime lead. We move on to the second half, and plenty to be excited about. After a South Alabama field goal, it's Matt Breida reeling off the 75-yard touchdown run. He'd finished the day with over 180 yards rushing as the Eagle lead is extended to 35-17. Younghoe Koo adds a 21-yard field goal to make it 38-17. And then time for another big play. L.A. Ramsby finds a hole. He makes a nice cut outside and goes in for the 45-yard score. 45-17, the Eagles rush for nearly 500 yards. Georgia Southern in the fourth gets another Koo field goal from 38 yards away to make it 48-17. Then after a 3-and-out on the punt return, Derek Keaton breaks this one outside and looks like he's gone for the 75-yard touchdown. Unfortunately, he's ruled out just inside the 5, no problem, as Vegas Harley would get in on the scoring fun with the touchdown run right here. The finishing touch is the Eagles cruise 55-17.
2013's been a great year for all of us. Got a couple things ideas. Get out of my office.
Get into TC Outdoors and get out. Hunting season's here and TC Outdoors has everything you need. TC Outdoors, Northside Drive East in Statesboro, or tc-outdoors.com, your hunting and fishing headquarters.
After the game, we had a chance to talk with head coach Willie Fritz and some of the players about the 55-17 victory.
I think we were sparked up a little more this week because we wanted to bounce back. We forgot about that Georgia game, and our team, I like the way we practiced all week and we prepared, and I'm just proud of all my teammates and all my coaches. We work on that, offense, defense, special teams. We try to make plays in every 3 aspects of the game, and we did special teams, we did offense, and we did defense get takeaways.
Day after the Georgia game, we had a team meeting. Coach came in here with a lot of enthusiasm, and he just told us we need to flush it. We played our best. It just didn't go like we wanted to, but we look at this game. The next game is the most important game, and we came out and showed it. All 3 phases are a big part of the game. 1/3 on all aspects, and special team makes a big difference in it.
Coach Fritz said in the locker room, it was a team win tonight. Everyone contributed to the win. Everyone did their part, and everyone played hard, and we just came out with a great win. It was great, like I said, skilled players, they did a great job tonight reading the holes. Receivers, the tight ends, the linemen, they did a great job blocking and just created explosive plays tonight.
We just had to come back and just make a stand. We had to come back from that loss against Georgia, so we were back in Paulson, and it felt good, get another W in Paulson. We take pride in our special teams. It's great to have a great kicker like Younghoe Koo and a great punt return and kick return like Derek Keaton. He made a lot of great plays, and Koo did a great job of kicking the ball out of the end zone and creating good field position for the defense, so that was good for us. Those guys do a great job with the senior leader, Antoine Williams, playing Mike linebacker. He gets those guys going. He's the energy of our defense. We like those big explosive plays, and our receivers did a great job of blocking on the perimeter and even catching the football. Derek Keaton had a touchdown catch. It's good to be able to get the ball in all those guys' hands.
We knew that we had a quality opponent coming in here, and we couldn't overlook them. We couldn't look back on last week. What happened last week was last week. It was dead. We had to throw it in the trash and keep it moving to the next week. Feel like we started off a little sluggish at first, but we got everything going, especially on defense, really well.
We didn't play real clean early in the ball game, and it was great to see our guys bounce back. That was a tough loss last week, and I kind of had to wear my psychologist hat early in the week, and then about Wednesday we started, getting to work on South Alabama and putting that last game in the rearview mirror, and defensively we played unbelievably. We gave up a total of 136 yards, which is outstanding. 75 were on the first drive of the game. Offensively, rushed for 489 yards. I thought we helped ourselves in the running game with being able to throw the football, and had some big pass plays. I thought it was pretty big at the end of the first half where we gained control of the ball and were able to punch that in to get a 28-14 advantage at halftime. I can't remember the last time I had a block punt, and our defense did a great job of holding them to a field goal. So that was a great job by them in that area. So besides the block punt, I thought we played pretty good in the kicking game as well. So just a complete and total team win by the Eagles.
Well, Mike, as the sun sets behind us at beautiful Paulson Stadium, up next for the Georgia Southern Eagles, it's senior game. They have 21 seniors who will be playing their final game here at Paulson Stadium as they await what we know will be one extra game, as they'll be playing in a bowl game yet to be determined. But Georgia State comes in. They picked off a big victory on a Friday night, and one more win, and they're bowl eligible. Maybe adds a little bit to this rivalry that they're trying to stir up between Georgia Southern and Georgia State.
Well, heading into tonight, we figured that this would be some of the motivation for South Alabama. They're just one win away from going to a bowl game. Georgia Southern obviously denying them that opportunity, at least for the time being. They'll get one more chance next week, but Georgia State, as bad as they looked in the beginning of the year, they're a team that's really turned it around. An offensive threat, we knew that could be an issue coming into this season, but the defense has been able to actually slow some people down. Well, they were really exposed last year against Georgia Southern, one of their worst performances. You know that the Eagles would like to kick them around one more time, not only get that win over a rival, but also prevent them from going to their first bowl.
Nick Arbuckle's really been throwing it all around this year. Should be a tall task for Georgia Southern, at least to try to slow them down. Hopefully the offense can pick up next week where they left off. But for now, that'll wrap things up. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.